Yeah. Welcome to How Can She Snap? This is the Marvel Snap podcast dedicated to the filthy casual. I'm the kid, one half of the Super Snap Bros, here with my brother from the same mother, Mr.
No big deal. Let's go.
Yeah, he's ready to rock. No big deal. He's going to Florida tomorrow. He's got some packing to do. He worked late. We're going to make a quick episode. We got to get this out for the boys and girls, though. So we got a quick episode. We're going to talk about how awesome Martyr is and how none of us bought her. And in the spirit of how great this card is, we're going to make a one-drop tier list just for fun. We think that'll be hilarious. We're going to do it on the fly. We didn't discuss anything beforehand. You know how we do. And then... we weren't going to do this. People kind of request the spotlights. We were going to take the week off, but things change next month in the data mine, so we'll go over that pretty quickly and give you our thoughts on that. So let's get it. The kid, Mr. No Big Deal. What's going on, my man? How are you?
What's cracking, man? I'm good. How you doing?
Not bad. How was your week? You running up infinites or what?
It was pretty good. I didn't play too much. I am busy with a lot of IRL stuff, but I played a little bit of Hella, and I played a little bit of Negative. Because I see these Hella and Negative players are at the top of the ladder, so I got to try out their list. If someone's making a legit Hella or a Negative list in top 100, I can't not play it. It'd be disrespectful for me to not try it out. I got my own ideas on how to play those decks, but I like to see what the players are actually good and not filthy casual like me are doing. So that I've been doing a little bit of that, a little bit more lockdown too, and that's about it.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I ran the Hilla list. Guy on Twitter, Son of a Lich Gaming, shoutouts. I gave that cool Hilla list with Quicksilver he uses actually. So I actually won a gold ticket with that. I took it through silver. Lockjaw, Quicksilver, Hilla. I think I deleted it for now, but anyways, just follow Son of a Lich Gaming on Twitter. You'll see him. He loves his Quicksilver. In one of the worst cards that we rated, so he clapped back a little bit. Last week when we did our top 10 worst cards. So that was cool. And yeah, honestly, I did Mr. Negative too. That's funny. We both played Negative. I actually got a couple of gold tickets with Negative. I was having so much fun just because Negative is so memey and all or nothing. So you can snap and the conquest matches are quicker. So that's what I liked, because I don't really play that much conquest.
Okay, you play a lot more than me. I played like 10 games in the ladder with Mr. Negative, with the Jane Mr. Negative list. It's pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. I just did like one silver conquest and then with the Hella Jane list, and then the negative Jane. I did a couple. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Just because I was working, overnight and stuff, so I have a little bit of time, but not that much time. Mm-hmm. So I'll just, I can't do ladder because it gets too interrupting and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we had, we were gonna have a patch, right? So it was kind of, prepping for that. Like, it's gonna be some big meta shakeups, but it got postponed to December 5th. So
yeah, patch.
We talked about the meta, like the Annihilus meta, 25 minutes on the last pod, pretty in depth. We had a good little discussion there. I was rewatching it, and not too much has changed from the last pod that we did on the meta, right? Like, it's still, I'd say there's less Annihilus, right? For that I've seen. Have you seen, do you think it's just junk all over? Like, I think it's a lot less Annihilus, but he's still out there a good amount.
It seems like people are just, enjoying the Darkhawk while they can before Blob comes out. I see a lot of Darkhawk packages, Darkhawk Bounce. I see Darkhawk Annihilus. It seems like Annihilus has just been boiled down into a nice little Annihilus package, which includes Sentry, Annihilus, and Hood.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like people really need Debris, which you can if you want to go full junk, but it seems like that's working out quite well for people, just running those three cards in a Darkhawk list, and then throwing in Doom or Eliath or something, and it's great. Or even a lockdown list, you run those three, you have Storm on the right, and then your -10 goes there, and then Annihilus wins the Storm lane by himself. And you can lock out the other lane. So,
talked about that a lot on the last pod.
Yeah. So it's the same type of meta. Not too bad. A lot of lockdown stuff, but there's a lot of Darkhawk stuff and bounce. But I think it's pretty diverse for the most part. I ran some Galactus list, which was hilarious. So
Yeah, I saw some screenshots.
Yeah, just some dumb just a fake out Galactus with Ravonna Darkhawk, and then a Galactus. Oh yeah, Miss Marvel, because Miss Marvel's buff works with Galactus, so it becomes a 10. So you got to risk it. So I lost a lot of cubes and stuff, but trying to make it work. But it was hilarious when it did. It was worth it.
Yeah.
So Martyr, this card, we said it was going to be shit. Looks like we were absolutely right. I think that it still is.
Not to pat ourselves on the back or anything, but I think everybody said it was going to be shit. I don't hear one person say, "Oh yeah, this is a banger," it's happening. Martyr taking out, like everyone said it was going to be bad, right? It's not just us.
No, I know. Yeah. I'm not trying to say that we're like savants or anything. This is like pretty easy to tell. It's not a great card, and I see some sentiment. Some people. I mean, the spotlight variant is fire. I will say that. That's the best part of the card. Is the spotlight variant is so cool. But I do see some people, I think, coping on Twitter, being like, "Oh, the card's not that bad. Look, it works in these lists and stuff." And maybe that's true. Maybe that's true. All right, I'll give that to them, but the fact remains is it's not worth wasting your resources on this card just because it might be okay in another list when you can just play Hawkeye or Ant-Man and basically get almost the same, if not the same. If you're running a bounce with Hawkeye, better results. Don't waste your spotlights. Don't waste 3K tokens. There's better cards out there. If she gets changed in the future, then maybe you can waste 3,000 tokens. But, maybe it's okay, but it's not worth your resources, I think.
No, it seems like a zoo card, right? Like by design, just from looking at it. Obviously, I'm not going to buy it, but it seems like I think it'd be really good in zoo. It's just zoo's like really bad. So, when Kyra comes out, is this maybe now we got Martyr Gang? We got another chance at it with Shayna too. Like I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
But, I think it'd be really good in zoo, like specifically.
Yeah, and it seemed like it's like hard for her to lose you the game. Like I saw a lot of content creators, a lot of videos and stuff of people like trying and then getting really excited when she actually lost the game because they've been trying to make her lose the game for a while. So it's a 1/4 that can lose you the game, not too often, but again, not worth the resources, I don't think.
Yeah, more often, whoever puts out more power wins, right? So it's specific situations where she would have to like really lose you the game, right?
Yeah, and with that, let's go to our one drop tier list.
Oh baby!
Just we're gonna talk about the one drops and how good and bad they all are.
Yeah, so while the kid's pulling this up, just for the people, if you haven't seen our tier list in the past, we just pull out all of the cards and we just decide on the spot what tier to put them in. Maybe we'll tweak it at the end, if the case there's anything egregious. Like I'm happy we did on the last one because we had to move Zabu up because we were worried about Mobius, but we said no, just put him up, and then Mobius got nerfed, so that ended up working out pretty good. But so we just do it on the spot as they come up, as casual as possible. That's the motto.
Yeah, and for the people listening, when I pulled this tier maker up, our tiers are S tier, A tier, B tier, and then we have one more which I've already filled out. I put Martyr tier, which is the F tier, and I've already put her in there.
Martyr tier. That's just Martyr tier.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be getting any arguments from you. No big deal on this.
No, it's fine.
Okay. All right. So first card, Agent 13.
Ooh. So we have S, A, and B, and then Martyr tier.
Yeah.
Okay. I would go B with Agent 13.
100%. That's what I think too.
She's borderline Martyr tier, I think, but she has some uses, right? Like especially early Loki decks, she was great. But then they buffed Mariah Hill to just be a better version of her. Yeah. So she's kind of just a worse Mariah Hill. A great pool 1 and 2 double dino card, but super meta, like any top meta decks, you're never gonna see her. So she can't really go higher than B, I don't think.
No, I agree 100%. I got nothing to add to that.
I think you definitely make the argument that she's the Martyr tier though at this point, right?
Yeah, I think only if Loki didn't exist, then in her to be in some of those in Double Dino lists, but Double Dino doesn't really exist. But just because she's in some Loki lists, I think B, just because she has some utility. Yeah, it's not a complete waste of time.
True,
and it's not something you're going to buy anyway. I think you get it for free. So
yeah.
Angel.
Well,
Just Martyr tier.
we talked about this
Yeah.
guy on the last pod. We did top 10 worst cards in the game. He
Yeah.
appeared on both our lists, a little bit higher on yours than mine, but
Yeah.
nevertheless appeared on both. So
Yeah.
yeah, one of the 10 worst cards in the entire game. So yeah,
Yeah.
actually Martyr's probably better than him.
Don't do it.
I
No,
think
maybe.
he
Who
might
knows?
be.
Maybe. Probably.
Yeah.
Ant-Man.
You go. What do you think?
I think B tier.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that. Oh, I think he's better than Agent 13 because
Yeah.
he's an ongoing. He's not good enough to be in the A tier. I don't think. He dies too easily. But because he's ongoing, becomes a 1/4 and can be used in some spectrum lists to get buffed. I think he deserves to be in B tier. I don't think he's as bad. I don't think he's like a horrible card because he's a card you can actually use in some like decks. So he's not Martyr tier. He's B tier.
I agree. Yeah, Fringe, even in some meta usage type of decks, right? Like Valkyrie is like kind of bread and butter card with Ant-Man. You could play both on turn 6, and since Ant-Man's an ongoing, he's goes to 3 +3, so he kind of just wins the Valkyrie lane on his own, and that's pretty sick as a 1 cost. Obviously, ongoing synergy. Even Thanos, like some Thanos ongoing was playing him at one point, but you don't need to do that. But yeah, I like Ant-Man at B. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bast. Oh, I don't know if we're gonna disagree on this. What do you think, Bast?
So it depends on the meta. I think, like in the right meta, A, maybe even S. But right now, I would say B on Bast personally.
Yeah, I was gonna say A, but low A tier.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah,
just because because she's still used in some bounce lists and really good, really good. I picked up that variant bundle with the Bast.
I guess it is just a good card, and it's always gonna be a good card because as long as they print cards that have less than 3 power, then that's kind of an interesting synergy with it. Obviously, Cerebro 3, staple card there. Yeah, I'm fine with A, but yeah, I just don't know what I can't think of the 1 cost like macro picture, like the landscape of the one, like what other cards are we gonna have an A, but we'll see. That's why we're doing the list. So yeah, we put them low A for now. We'll call it.
Yeah, and we can always change at the end. We'll see.
Yeah.
Blade. I'll go because you went first on the last one.
Okay.
I think Blade's A tier. I think especially since his change where he just discards the rightmost card. I think that he does wonders for discard, which is seeing a resurgence recently. I see a lot of discard players, and he's good for Hela, and he's good for Black Knight lists. He's just a good one drop.
He's not in MODOK as well. So all discard, he's in there. Yeah.
He's not like an all around, like you can't put him in every list, obviously, but for the decks that he's in, he's really good as a one. He's like really good, not replaceable, basically. Great card. Mm-hmm. So that's why I think he's A tier.
I agree. I think Blade's A, but he would be like high A for me. I think because
I think too.
Yeah, he's like a fantastic card in all discard decks. He's a staple now, just ever since they buffed him. And I wouldn't put him in S just because it's not only specifically for discard, but he's not the card that wins you the discard games either. Like he helps you along the way. He's a nice consistency piece, but he's not like the big MODOK. You slam him down, or he's not the Hela, or more even Morbius. Can be a 2/12, right? Blade doesn't do anything, so he just discards 1 card. So I think he's just a solid engine, like really good engine card for discard. So I think he's A as well.
Yeah, for me, the S tiers are going to be like you can put them in any deck, and they're really good in any deck, basically.
Yeah.
That's like my criteria for S tier.
Well, we'll see. I don't know if that's mine.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's see. Where's next? These are in alphabetical order. So if I miss one, tell me. Deadpool's next.
All right. So I think Deadpool's A tier.
Me too.
When I first started playing Snap, I think this was one of the worst cards in the game. But he hasn't changed at all. They haven't buffed him, but he's had so much support. Like Forge is a 1 cost now. Nico Minoru. Like he's got just all kinds of things working in his favor now. Destroys in a really good spot. Junk's in the meta. So even before that, like destroys a combo deck. Loki doesn't like stealing your very specific Deadpool combo decks because they have to get the right combo pieces to pair with the Deadpool that you've been building up the whole game, and they just got it on turn 4 or 5. So
Yeah.
He just does a lot in the meta right now. I mean, this is like, one of the main cards that we're seeing in Marvel Snap right now.
Yeah, and just Destroy is one of the top decks right now too. A lot of people are playing Destroy in High Infinite and getting Infinity tickets with it, and it's just a good list all around, and almost all of them include Deadpool. I see the Deadpool list more favored than the Shuri Nimrod list, just because of its flexibility. You play with X23, you can play a null and like a 132 Deadpool on the last turn. It's kind of wild. And you can always null Taskmaster too. People, place Hulkbusters in these lists as well. Or you can Hulkbuster the Deadpool. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, that's true. The release of X23 is also massive. I think that's when he really started to take off. Once X23 came out, Deadpool went from shit card in my opinion to okay, this guy's like really legit.
Yeah, exactly. And then Forge is a 1-drop, so it's easier to buff Deadpool. And then Nico also can buff Deadpool or kill Deadpool. So it's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so you're going on the
but
next
again,
one.
Deadpool's like not in S tier because like he's only in Destroy. Like you can't throw Deadpool in like a Darkhawk list. Like think you're gonna do anything. He's a 1/1.
He's super combo dependent too, right? Like
all right, the next one I believe was, let's see.
Yeah, you're on the third.
Ebony Maw.
Ooh, the Maw. Okay, so you go. I went for Deadpool first. So
I think B tier. I think maybe like higher up B tier. I can't put Ebony Maw in. I don't know. 1/7's good, but like I just see Ebony Maw in Shuri lists, I guess, and that's about it right now. It's good.
I was gonna say A tier. For
you want it? I'm okay with low A tier.
I think he's a sick card. Like I think 1/7's awesome.
It is really good.
And shutting down the lane, especially nowadays, we got Miss Marvel, we got Doctor Doom, we got how many Jeff, the baby land shark. There's so many ways to get in there anyway. And you're not even always playing him on 1. Sometimes it's 2 or 3, or you're playing a Sauron deck and you could just play him on turn 6 and just own people. So he actually wins you the game on his own a lot of time, in Shuri Sauron specifically. And also he's good in ramp lists as well. So I like him a lot in ramp because you're playing 1 card at a time anyway. So you could just throw the Ebony Maw. You're playing like Electro Sandman ramp type of list. I think he's really good at those lists too. So I think A tier because I do think on his own like he does so much. Like 7 power on 1 is like it.
Seven's ridiculous.
So I would lobby for that. Maybe low A is fine, but I do think he's ahead of like Ant-Man and Agent 13. I think he's a clear cut above those 2 cards.
Yeah, that's true. You're right. You convinced me. A tier.
Shuri Sauron's crazy. I mean, as you know.
I was gonna say he is so sick in Shuri Sauron. That's what I was about to say. Like he's real good.
Yeah, he is like one of those cards that just like makes Sauron so good. Specifically, because if you don't have him, then maybe you don't play a Sauron version. You just play the Shuri Red Skull, the old one.
Well, no, because you usually Vision are in those lists now too. So you could just Shuri the Vision and throw the Vision in there, and then you're getting 23 power in that lane. Yeah, with just a Shuried Vision.
So
all right,
you're on like the 3rd row, I think. Yeah.
Next one, Elektra.
Okay, well, unfortunately, I think she's Martyr tier.
Yes.
We talked about Elektra. I'd like to see her kill 2 cards. She has 2 daggers in her hand, so I think she should kill 2 cards. That's my suggestion.
And there were some rumors of her becoming a 2/2 and killing a 2-drop.
Oh, that would shake things up a little bit because 2-drops are just like sacred right now, and that's like the premier cost.
That would be
snipes your Jeff. Like, geez, man,
that would be sick. I would love that change. That'd be such a cool change.
That's one of those changes where we talk about where it's like you don't always have to change the meta by adding new cards. If you make Elektra kill a 2 cost, you're actually shaking the meta up. Yeah.
Goodbye Daredevil. Goodbye. Oh, there's so many. 2-drops like one of the best tiers. Like there's so many good ones. But 1/1 to a 1 is killing a 1 cost is like just play Killmonger, then you kill all of them, and it's a 3/3.
Yeah.
Why would you ever have
this? Doesn't also die to Killmonger.
Yeah.
1/1 occupying a space on the board is really brutal too. Like she's not even great for like Venom. Like it's just you can't play her and destroy, even though she destroys. It sucks. It's terrible card. And unfortunate because Carmen Electra did a good job in that movie.
That's true. All right. Ghost looks like the next one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you go for Ghost. Yeah.
Ghost, I think, is Martyr tier.
Yeah.
Never, just not used. Just the effect is not. It's cool in theory. Thought it would be good, but like dodging priority all the time. Sometimes you want priority, so it's like you're on reveal last. Like I don't know. There's better ways of doing it than putting a 1/2.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
You
I
have other
definitely,
cards like Kitty Pride and stuff like that.
yeah. When they released this card, I was thinking, oh, okay, it could maybe be good in Sarah Control, right? At the time, Sarah Control was a big deck. You're waiting for them to reveal their cards. You play your Shang-Chi, you play your Shadow King. Really good to pass Prio in a deck like that, where you're just purely trying, Killmonger. You're purely trying to shut down their plays, right? And then I didn't end up getting it, but I ended up pulling it eventually, and then
Yeah,
tried it in some Sarah Control, and it's terrible. It just wastes a slot. You'd rather have like a lizard.
exactly.
Like,
Yeah,
give me a 1 power lizard. That's just better. Like like give some power on the board. In the Nihilist meta, we thought maybe Ghost. You Annihilus last
yeah,
always, and
yeah.
I tried that. I don't know if you tried it. I tried it out, and
No,
it's such a easy just cut them and put an actual card in there.
exactly. Yeah, the effect doesn't justify the slot in the deck for Ghost.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it is a cool effect, but like, yeah, no,
Mhm.
I don't think so. Maybe in January, maybe, probably not. But when it's all going to be Hulks and everyone has greater than 10 power stuff, and you just want your Shang-Chi to kill,
Yeah.
but I doubt it.
Yeah, something like Shang would be the obvious synergy, but it's just
Yeah,
like
yeah,
just find a way. You're gonna Shang, pass priority strategically without having to occupy a slot in your deck. Play smart and just play in a lane that you're already winning or something. Just make sure you don't you don't take priority, and then play your Shang, and you don't have to play Ghost.
yeah. No, I
Yeah,
agree.
yeah.
Okay. This one it says a 2-drop,
Mhm.
but it's a 1-drop. Forge.
I would say S tier.
S, huh?
I mean, maybe not, but uh, the versatility is crazy.
Yeah.
I never feel bad playing Forge in the decks that he's in, and he's in a few top decks.
Yeah,
So like,
maybe he is S tier because like
yeah,
he's in bounce and does so good in bounce.
Mhm.
Um, he's in destroy and does really good in all the destroy lists.
Yeah, like Dara Gladiator deck. He's staple in that deck. Kind of the whole point of
Yeah,
that deck.
any bounce list really.
Deadpool, like unbelievable with Deadpool.
Any werewolf deck, which is usually a bounce deck.
Yeah, he's an on reveal for Werewolf. He's cheap on reveal. Gives +2 power. Um, Yeah, I don't know. I think he probably was even stronger pre nerf, but like when he gave +3, but that was in the Elsa meta, and that card was broken. Everything was broken, but
Yeah.
still, I mean, it just feels so low committal at a 1 cost, and just does so much for your deck, and generically fits in a lot of different decks. Kind of like you were saying, you want an S tier card to do so.
Yeah.
I would probably say S. Like I love playing Forge. I always put him in, and I feel great about all the decks that he's in.
He's good. Yeah, we'll stick. I can stick him in S for now, and then
Yeah,
we'll see what other cards go in. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be top of S, but he's a really good card right now,
yeah.
especially right now. Okay, next one is Hawkeye.
Mhm.
I think Hawkeye is B tier right now. I don't think he's Martyr tier because he can be playable in some bounce lists. And you can get him up to like a 110, 107, pretty handily. But there's other cards that are better. But he's a good replacement for those cards if you don't have them. He's definitely better than Martyr. I'll say that for sure. So I can't put him in Martyr tier. He did have his day. You played him. You just randomly played him in the bounce list last week, right?
Yeah, so that's one of the decks I've been playing. I've been messing around with Hawkeye. He feels pretty good. I mean, I sent you a screenshot. I got him up to like 21 power on one of
Yeah,
the
it's
games.
wild.
Curry's Lab Hawkeye, but I agree with you on B tier. Yeah, Ant-Man. Yeah, maybe right. That's the perfect spot for him. Ahead of Agent 13, but I think behind Ant-Man. Just Ant-Man has
Yeah.
some interesting synergies that can kind of win you the game.
Yeah.
Hawkeye is just like an interesting choice in bounce that you don't always have to play, and maybe you should play a Spider Ham instead. But he's still like he's a big power stick for that deck.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. And a pretty reliable 1/4, and that doesn't lose you the game, right? So
Yeah, that's true.
It can't be understated. So I think he's got to be at least B.
All right, the hood.
The hood. Ooh, God, that's tough. I mean, I'm debating between A and S.
I know.
Yeah, is the debate. My first instinct is to say A.
I'm saying
because
A, high A,
yeah,
maybe top, maybe the best A tier card right now.
yeah. We maybe at the end we'll move them up. But if an Eyeless didn't exist, I would for sure say A because it's like, hey, it's only a destroy card, maybe bounce, destroy, bounce. That's it. But now that an Eyeless is out, it's like kind of core package. I'm kind of leaning S now that I talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, he's in bounce. He's in all the good decks right now.
Yeah.
And the Nihilist pack is like he's a really, really good card right now. Yeah, you either because it's like you can destroy him if like you don't get your cards, or you just send him over with a Nihilist or Viper, and it's like, yeah, I don't know.
I think one of these things happened in the meta where
he's tough.
When we first were playing, Killmonger was everywhere, and you just Surfer Killmonger. Turn 6 Killmonger was a big deal. Nobody's playing turn 6 Killmonger right now. So I think the demon was actually like pretty vulnerable in the past. And I mean, right now, like just playing the demon, there's so many 5, like a Nihilist demon on 6 is like unbelievable power swing. So yeah, I don't know. He might be S tier.
Yeah, because there's so many Darkhawk and bounce decks, right?
Yeah.
Like all different variations of Darkhawk decks, like Zabu Darkhawk decks, Ravona decks, and a lot of bounce decks, and none of those run Killmonger. Now there is a lot of Destroy that runs Killmonger, but then you just have to be a little bit careful. Mm-hmm. And they're usually playing Deadpool, so they're usually not saving their Killmonger for turn 6 because they want to kill their Deadpool early. Yeah, so you can save your demon and just be smart. So you can usually in the Deadpool Destroy list duck Killmonger, right? Mm-hmm. It's only like the rare Sarah Surfer list, the unicorn that's out there that, you get cocked by a Killmonger. But I mean, it is what it is, right?
A lot of those decks aren't even running Kill Nova anymore. That was old school Surfer. I don't even really see Killmonger Nova, which was all Sarah and all Surfer decks back.
I'm fine with putting Hood in S because he's so good right now. He's really good. Ahead of Forge or behind Forge?
The -3 used to be a nerf, but now we have an Nihilist, right? So now it's a buff too.
Yeah.
So he's just sick. Yeah.
Ahead or behind Forge? What do you think? You think he's better than Forge?
No.
I think Forge is a little more versatile, personally. Yeah. All right. Next one. Where the heck was I? Human Torch.
All right. What do you think, kid?
I think lowest B tier.
Yeah. He's kind of saved by Phoenix Force.
That one list only. Phoenix Force deck. Which is a pretty good deck.
Yeah, that's it. The deck is pretty good, and he's obviously an integral part of it. You're not always going to get multiple man. You'd prefer to have multiple man over him, but
and like we said, there's really not that much Killmonger.
Right.
The problem with him is you kind of have to have him out early. So
he's out early, yeah. So he will die to the Destroy Killmonger, yeah.
Yeah, unless they play it before turn 4, the Killmonger.
Yeah.
Because that's when you Phoenix Force. But I think he's too vulnerable. I think one B tier for him. Mm-hmm. But he's a great card.
Yeah, I mean he is one of those cards that can just win you the game by himself, but it's just so risky. Get Shang, get Killmonger, it's Shadow King, he's countered by multiple cards. But when he doesn't get countered, he could be 32 power and just win you the game. So
Iceman.
So Iceman's kind of interesting right now. I'm debating between A and B. I would lean A personally.
So would I. Yeah. I put him in a couple bounce lists over the last week and tried subbing him out for Spider-Ham, sub Spider-Ham out. He did really good. He was great. I had people rage quitting a lot. So he's still a really good card. He's not S and he's not, I think he's better than the B tier cards, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I love him in the Loki matchup specifically. There's no bad hits in that matchup before they play Loki. So if you're playing Iceman turn 1, 2, or 3 against a Loki player, they're going to be tilting no matter what you hit. It's going to be the card they want to play on curve, or you hit Loki and it's a 5-cost Loki now.
Yeah.
Either way, you just kill them, you crush their souls. So.
And then usually you're bouncing him back too, right? And then
play him again, yeah. So
and then you play him again.
3 and 4, yeah.
Yeah, so I've done it a few times where it's just it's soul crushing, and then even a few times I did this is what made people rage quit. I did this a couple times. Nico had the copy a card when you play it.
Yeah.
So I had 4 Icemen, and because or like 3 Icemen or 2 Icemen, then you can do it 3 or 4 or 5 times even because you're bouncing them back with Falcon. They can't play anything.
Yeah.
And they're just pissed and they rage quit.
Yeah.
And you can throw in Black Widows too with that. It's just like, it's really disgusting.
Oh yeah, if you have 2 Icemans and a Black Widow, I mean, you beast
Yeah.
that, it's over.
Yeah, exactly. Like people just rage quit. So like he's
hitting
good.
the Widow Bite's like pretty nice sometimes too.
Yeah. That's true.
But yeah, with one caveat with Iceman, we do have to mention, God forbid they put Mobius back to a 2/3. This card's dead, and he's down there with Martyr. Like he's out of the game with a 2/3 Mobius.
That's true.
Hard counters him. There's no Mobius right now. So we're making this list when Mobius does not exist. So that is a caveat.
Yeah, I agree. All right, who's the next one here? Looks like Iron Fist.
The Fist.
I'm putting him in B tier.
I agree. Right there with Torch, maybe even ahead of Torch. I don't know, but
like he's a good card.
Yeah,
I think he's a really good card. He's one of the best move cards, if not the best move card. Just move sucks.
Yeah,
I can't put him in Martyr tier because like he's a good card.
He's fantastic in move. Like he's a rock star in that deck specifically.
If move was like
every game.
If there was like one fringe move deck that was like B tier, that was like semi-popular, not played by people that are amazing at move, that the masses could potentially play, he would be an A tier 100%.
Yeah.
But since there's not really any viable deck, I can't put him in like A tier. But he's so good for the move archetype. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's not as fragile as Human Torch in the move deck specifically either. Like Iron Fist, you're playing move, you want to see him every game. I'd love to have Iron Fist every single game I play move on.
Yeah.
Turn 1, 2, 3, or 4.
It's almost sometimes it's like you don't even mind if he dies because then you have more space if you're a move deck. It's like great.
That's what I mean. He's not like Torch where he's fragile,
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what happens to him. His effect is ridiculous in that.
Yeah, if Torch dies, you're pissed. If Iron Fist dies, like sometimes you're happy because you're like, oh, I can move stuff around more. I have more space. It's great.
Yeah.
So yeah, Iron Fist. Yeah, he's really good.
I'm down for that. Yeah, he feels awesome in move. Okay, yeah. Sorry for the audio listeners. We're scrolling through a tier list with every card in the game, so Kid is trying to pick out the ones individually.
Yeah, and they're alphabetical order. I can't sort them by like power cost, which would have been nice. So I'm sorry, everyone. Kitty Pryde.
Oh man, this one's really hard. I'm leaning B tier right now.
No,
I'm okay with A. I'm okay if you want to put her in A.
Yeah, I want to put her A. Okay. I can't put her B because she's still pretty good. It's like I think she's suffering from the Elsa gets nerfed, so no one's playing Elsa, but Elsa's still probably pretty good.
Angela nerf is massive on her.
Yeah, Angela nerf was massive on her. I saw Hoagland he put up a video maybe last week, a few weeks, I don't know, whatever. And it was he played the old bounce Kitty Pryde with Elsa. And like he even had Bishop in there and Mysterio, and it did pretty good. It looked pretty good. She looked great in it. And I played a few games with it too because I'm like, oh, it's a cool switch up bounce shell instead of like the ones we've been using.
Did he play Angela?
No.
Yeah, I guess that's how you have to do it. You just Elsa, but no Angela, and in that deck like that, I think she could be awesome still for sure.
Yeah, and she was good. So I think probably low A. I can't put her down with the ranks of Ant-Man and Hawkeye. Yeah,
I never see her. Like, I see Ant-Man more than I see her these days. Like straight up, so it's just, but that doesn't really mean one's better or worse. But I'm just, I don't remember last time I saw Kitty Pryde. I think the last 50 games I've seen 0. So
yeah, no one's playing Elsa anymore. So
yeah,
because Annihilus is the new shiny thing. But in a few weeks people will probably do it.
Yeah.
Korg.
Oh, Korg. I think A for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
The question is S.
I know.
I think okay. Here's my argument. I'm gonna say I think he's A tier.
Me too.
I do think it's more Darkhawk than it is Korg. Rock Slide puts 2 rocks. Widow is like pretty nice on her own and in other decks as well. I think Korg is like kind of specific to Darkhawk. You rarely play Korg in anything other than Darkhawk or Bounce specifically. You're pretty much not playing Korg. So I think he is kind of dependent on his counter pieces, but obviously he's awesome in those.
Yeah, which I think you probably can. No one does, but just because it's great to have Darkhawk in there because you're getting 2 free power with him, right? Like so. why wouldn't you throw Darkhawk in a list like that?
Yeah.
But yeah, because he's attached to only Darkhawk package alone, I would put him in A, but high A because he's really good. The drawing a rock sucks. It's the worst thing. Like you only get like what 5 draws for the whole game, and it's like if one of them's a rock, like okay, there's like almost 20% of your total draws is just a rock from a 1-drop, and you're like, holy crap! And it happens more often than you think. So it's like it's really good.
It shows in the stats for sure, like the win percentage and stuff. I mean, this is one of the best cards in the game.
Yeah, and again, he's one that like if he dies from Killmonger, like who cares? He already did his thing.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, looks like good old M'Baku's next. Mantis, this is 1-2 here, but it got switched. All right, Maria Hill. It says she's a 2-3 here, but no, she ain't.
What do you think about Maria?
Maria, I think Maria is B tier, and I think she's ahead of Agent 13, Hawkeye, and maybe even ahead of Ant-Man.
Yeah.
I think she's probably maybe the top B tier card.
Yeah.
So just really good in Loki.
Yeah, it's Loki only. That's the only issue with her, right? It's like without Loki, is she a card? I don't think Shield deck, Nick Fury Shield deck. Like I don't think this exists. I know a lot of people want it to. I think it'd be cool if it did. I've tried it out. It doesn't feel great. Statistically, it's not showing out. Nobody's really playing it. So but awesome support in a Loki deck.
Yeah. Like seriously, really good.
Like, you're happy to get her every time.
And 2-drops are like wild. So I've seen like videos of people doing like, playing Loki decks, and then just the 2-drops you get, because 2-drops, they're so good. Like seeing them beginning like Vipers and sending crap over and like screwing with the people's boards. Like it was hilarious.
Yeah.
M'Baku.
Yeah, it's got to be Martyr tier. I mean,
let's be honest. He's the Martyr tier. There's nothing really more to say.
Yeah.
When he hits, he has some of the best highlights, ever. But he's really bad, and you should never put any other card above in the tiers above in your deck instead of him.
I think if I could try to make a case for M'Baku, and I'm not, I'm just saying if I were to try.
That's right. Go for it.
It's number 1, Cerebro 2, pretty sick. Can be a 1/6 that flies out of your deck, or you just play him and he's a 1/6 potentially, right? Or 1/7 with Blue Marvel. So that's pretty nice. And on top of that, another theoretical thing, the same way your guy there is trying to make Quicksilver work in Lockjaw, M'Baku has a similar theory. If you play M'Baku on the Lockjaw lane, then it is, in fact, in your deck. So he will fly out at the end. It's kind of like free value in the Lockjaw lane. So he's been played in Lockjaw. He has been played in C2, but he's pretty much cut from both of those decks now. So if he can't work in the decks that he's meant for, like, what are we doing?
Yeah, exactly. No, I agree 100%.
Yeah.
Next one, Misty Knight.
So, I mean, we're going to call this like Patriot / High Evo Misty Knight, obviously.
Yeah, I think we include the fact that she can be in High Evo, obviously.
Yeah. I still think B, even though I love this card in High Evo. Like, I play her in all my High Evo lists. I'm super into Misty Knight. I know a lot of people cut her, and I think it's fair. I understand why people are cutting her. I don't think you should cut her. You play armor, get your Sunspot, get greedy with your ones, boost everything up. But I think she is. If you look at a High Evo list, she's probably one of the worst cards in there, one of the most least impactful cards in there. So I would say B.
Yeah, I agree. B. Do you think she's ahead? Do you think she's? I think she's above Ant-Man probably.
Yeah,
because she's played in Patriot and High Evo lists, and she's really good in those lists. Maria Hill, better or worse?
I think Misty's better, personally.
Yeah, I think so too, actually.
Just because Misty could be like a 1/5. Like, she can get you like 1/5, like 1/4, 1/5, like pretty regularly in a High Evo list. Where
and you're wanting to skip, right? Yeah, you're wanting to skip, and you're your Hulk's going up, everything's going up, your Cyclops is going off, she's giving power to people, and she randomly wins you some lanes that are tied at the end of the game,
Yeah.
Shows and
a lot of Professor X in the meta. She can proc on your Prof X lane. That could be massive sometimes. I like her a lot.
I don't think good enough to be A tier. Oh God, now that I think about this, like, is she better than Iceman? Like, can we have Iceman on A tier? Like,
I don't know. I don't know about that. Yeah.
I don't know either. I'm
I'm
gonna
looking
leave
at
it.
Bast is the one I'm looking at. Then I'm like, I don't know. I don't see him that much.
Bass is sick. Bass is
Yeah.
sick.
Okay. Yeah, we'll leave it.
No, he's in like the top bounce list. It's just those lists are really hard to play, so he's not seeing that much.
Fair
But
enough.
when people play those lists, it's
I like
like
it. I'm a
it's
C3 in player.
insane.
Don't get me wrong. I do like the card.
All right, let's look for the next one drop here. Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler. What do you think?
I think he's got to be an A tier, honestly.
Oh, interesting.
He's either A tier or high B or high B. I still see him in lists. I still see him in some lockdown lists. With like because he can move around, vision lists, C2. His mobility is really good. So I see him. When even with some Miss Marvel lists, I see him. I think he's just got a lot of potential. He was a lot better with the mini movers when there was like a lot of the Craven and stuff. He was doing really well in that.
Yeah.
But I do see him in some of these lists, and he does do quite well. I'm happy to downgrade him to B if you feel he's a B tier card.
I think Nightcrawler is a solid card. I don't think he's bad, and I don't think he's great either.
Yeah.
When you said little movers, another thing is pre-patch Elsa. This card was insane.
Yeah.
1/5. So and if you bounce them, and it just gets ridiculous. You get a 1/8 Nightcrawler moving around, it gets insane. So those days are kind of over. So I would put him in B. Yeah, I got Misty Knight, Maria Hill, like right around there. I think maybe but yeah, whatever you think.
Yeah.
B, low A, high B.
I'm happy with high B.
He's cut from a lot of those lists now.
It's true. It's true. And I'd rather play Misty Knight in my. I'd rather have Misty Knight than Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
Like in high Evo and stuff. I guess.
The Jeff is like the one you want. He's just
like
he's like Walmart. He's like, we have Jeff at home. Like
yeah. Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
All right, let me find the next one. Miles Morales doesn't count, right?
No, can't do it.
Nova.
Okay, so I think Nova's B right now.
Yeah.
You're pretty much cutting him from all the destroy lists. He used to be a staple in destroy, but we have X23, we have Nico now. This guy gets pushed. Is anyone playing Killmonger, Nova, and Surfer? Probably not. Sarah Control's kind of dead. I don't think he's Martyr tier because he could just be like a 1/7, pretty easily. Mm-hmm. So we can't just call him like Angel, Elektra, Ghost. I mean, he's not that bad. So yeah,
no. Exactly. Yeah, I agree, 100%. I think he's low B tier. Yeah. He's not Martyr tier, but he's not great right now. Mm-hmm. So I think definitely a low B tier for him. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because
a lot of people think he's underrated, but I mean, I don't know. I've tried it. It's okay. It's a little bit.
It's okay, and there's just better cards that are out now. Like Nico, is just amazing, right? Like
Nico kind of power crept the poor Nova.
There's so many other cards you want to play instead of him in your destroy list. He's in some Surfer lists, but All right, Quicksilver's next. This is going to be easy Martyr tier.
Yeah.
I don't think we have any discussion.
I said my piece on him. What do you think about
let's say listen to our last podcast if you want to hear our thoughts on Quicksilver when we go over the top 10 worst cards in the game.
Yeah.
Definitely made no big deals list. No, he's just no. He's not good. It's a 1/2. It's not his drawing him on 1 all the time is only good in Agatha, which is a horrible deck. So
and I don't know if it's really good in Agatha, to be honest.
Yeah, who knows?
Because I think in Agatha you want your Lady Civ and you want your Wave. You got to get to those cards. So Quicksilver makes it so you get those less often. If you don't have Wave or Lady Civ, you're not winning with Agatha. So Quicksilver makes that less consistent. So I think he's actually bad in Agatha too.
I agree. Next one, Quinjet. Where do you think he should go?
I think Quinjet is A.
I think so too.
Yeah, it's like I almost want to argue for S, but the pre-Thanos nerf, you can't go to 0. But and he's not even in every Loki deck. It's just a certain greedy Loki builds. Most Loki players are not worried about Mobius anymore, so you could actually just play Quinjet.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean he actually can win the game by himself in a Loki Quinjet list. You have Loki out, you have Collector, Quinjet, and that's snap every time. So yeah, I mean he's ridiculous.
Yeah, he's sick. Mm-hmm. He's just really good. He's only really used in Loki,
Yeah.
But the way he elevates to get a double discount, the Loki decks is like he you get some insane plays off Loki, and he just wins a lot of the games. Some of the really top people cut him because they're better at the game, but the scrubs that play Loki, like me, Quinjets and all the lists, because it's just easy. You play him out, and your cards are going to be cheaper, and then you can just spam everything with Loki. It's so good, and Mobius, like you said, is non-existent.
Yeah, and I've seen them in some top deck lists too. It's just they have their own Loki versus Loki meta where they're not trying to give the cards over, and so certain cards that are good but they get cut because they're good, and I don't know if Quinjet's one of them, but I know like it's basically like a Loki mirror, like 5-head Galaxy Brain meta up there. So I know some of them. I just know some of them actually still run the Quinjet as well. It's one of the builds you can run with Loki.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just in one of the best decks, if not the best deck in the game, probably right now. He's like one of the core pieces that really, steamrolls that engine. Just like
yeah,
it's amazing.
Legit snap condition. Yeah,
yeah.
That's a good pick there.
Rocket Raccoon.
A Raken. What do you think about the Rocket Man?
Oh boy.
You're debating Martyr tier.
Yeah, I don't think he's quite Martyr tier.
Yeah.
But he's bad. So I'm gonna put him in B.
He's close to Martyr tier.
I'm putting him in the end of B. He's close to Martyr tier.
Yeah, I mean, Martyr, that's the thing with Martyr. Wow, it's just crazy that they printed Martyr, right? Because, in the right deck, like Rocket Raccoon can pretty reliably get to 1-4, and then he doesn't lose you the game after.
Yeah. Exactly.
So it's like, all right, it's a 1-4, like, so where he's good, he's a 1-4, but yeah, it's he's a bad card. He's one of the worst Guardians. Not as bad as Groot or Mantis.
No, just because he's a 1-drop.
Yeah.
If you're a psychopath, you could bounce him too, and make him a 1/6.
Yeah, another 2. Yeah. So, yeah, man. Yeah,
but no.
Card. Like I said, I would like to see him be a 0 base power and just give him the juice on the.
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
Squirrel Girl looks like the next one here.
A Squirrel. I think probably also B tier.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, she's not in like any deck right now.
No.
Like Death Wave is dead, like you're not playing her even Thanos Destroy where you want all the cards. I think you're cutting Squirrel Girl. You're cutting her all the decks she used to be in, you get cut. She just got a buff, so she is actually a 1/4. Like just straight up. You just get 1/4. She reaches lanes you can't reach. These are all theoretical things that nobody actually plays her in their deck, because she doesn't clog the whole board, which is a pain. It obviously gets owned by Killmonger, feeds the opponent's death. So the problem with her that I feel like in this meta is, yes, she's a 1/4, which is great stats. So in destroy decks, she's used to be really good because you could make your death cheaper, but there's just there's no space for her in that deck. And it's just like there's way more. There's other 1-drops that are way better. You're running Deadpool, Nico, Forge, right? You don't need you missed X-23.
Yeah, and X-23. Yeah, you're not worried about Squirrel Girl. You're usually getting your death almost close to 0 every time. So it's just there's no room for it in that deck, and you're not putting her in any other deck because even bounce decks, whatever. Because like a lot of those decks now run Werewolf, and you need a lot of space for that card. You just need there's a lot. The meta right now is such that it seems like you need a lot of space. Like Loki run out of space, and if you're slamming like one card at a time, then it's like there's better options than Squirrel Girl. Like you're not going to put her in Miss Marvel decks because then you're having a 1-drop in every lane. Then you can't play any other 1-drop, and you don't get the buff from Miss Marvel. So it's like, it's just not a great card right now.
No, the reason I was talking it out so much because she's kind of borderline Martyr tier, I think, but I didn't find good. But
no, she's not like bad. She's not like she's not like a piece of shit. Like don't ever play this card.
Yeah, those cards are like actively losing you the game. At least she's trying to get some power on the board. She's doing her best.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we have Sunspot. I think.
Go ahead.
I think he's A, and I think he's a decently high A, maybe. I think that he's probably better than Bass, not as good as Quinjet. Because there are some. So right now there's some like She-Hulk decks coming back into style, and some high Evo Hulk, She-Not decks and stuff like that. So he's been seeing more play in the last month than I've seen him in the last couple months, to be honest. I think he's a really good card in those decks, but he doesn't really. He's not in any other deck, so he's like just in those decks, and he's amazing in those decks. But yeah, and he gets. I own him with Shadow King frequently, so. I don't think he could be an S tier. And he's definitely not B tier. So he's a good, really good card.
I agree with what you're saying 100%. I don't even have anything to add to that. Yeah. Exactly where I would put him.
Yeah. Who do we got next here? Oh boy, here we go. The Watcher. He can look at all the rest of the cards from the Martyr tier.
No.
He's bad.
Yeah, it sucks. We've talked about him on 2 pods now. I mean, I'm starting to feel bad for dunking on the poor guy now. He's just a fragile old man. It's not his fault. But what can you do?
What can you do? They buffed him, and he's still one of the worst cards in the game.
Yeah.
Just let him show all the cards, all the lanes. I mean, Titania.
I think Titania is B tier right now.
Right now, I think B tier. Yeah, I agree.
And it does say a lot that we just had the junk revolution. Like even if Celine comes out, like are we going to see Titania still? Like she's kind of just borderline include on a lot of these decks. Now she's great when she's great, and when their lanes are clogged, Titania, Green Goblin, like there are all kinds of tricks you can use so reliably you're not giving your opponent 5 power. Yeah. You could play her with 0 as another option. But she's just not in any decks right now because the risk is just not worth it. There's all kinds of other options you could play.
Yeah, exactly. It's also a 1/5 that doesn't lose you the game. So yeah, 1 more power.
Yeah, unlike the people in the Martyr tier, she can win you the game.
Yes.
Yeah, it's 5 power.
Very tricky to play, but Yondu, the boy.
What do you think about Yondu?
I think he's B tier, probably lower B tier. Maybe not as bad as Squirrel Girl. Probably there. I would say he's all right. He's not really played anymore. We had fun with him before when Gladiator came out. Milling decks and stuff. He's all right. He's good disruption. You are thinning out your opponent's deck, so there's something to be said for that. So unless you're going full mill, he's like, I don't see him in destroy decks anymore. Because that deck list is so tight, like we were talking about, because he does add power to the null whenever you destroy it. He used to be played in Galactus lists back in the day because you add power to the null, and you really don't have anything to play on 1 at that time. But he's just not in favor in the meta right now. His effect isn't as good, but it is annoying, and sometimes you get their key piece, but he's not as bad as like Angel or M'Baku, so I can't put him in Martyr tier.
No, I agree. That's where I would put him too, and just used to be actually pretty good card in the old Galactus list.
Yeah,
I would say a staple card in those lists. I mean, you could not play him if you were trying to be tricky, but if you're trying to just be like optimal, he powers up your null and your death both, and you see what you're hitting. You kind of see what you're up against. Information is really valuable in those decks, but Galactus has been giga nerfed since those days. So he's not as close to what he was back then. So Yondu goes down with him.
Yeah. Agreed 100%. Let's see, just looking for the cards. Sorry, peeps. 0.
Okay,
we're down near the bottom.
We're on the Zabu line. We'll check it next time.
0's a tough one for me, honestly. 0's really only seen in competitively speaking in Shuri decks. There's some fringe 0 decks, right? But like they're not that popular. But he's so good in those decks. So good. So I'm debating bottom of A or top-ish of B. I think I'm going to lean more towards...
Yeah, I mean, I'd put him right after Ma just for that reason. It's just...
I think so, yeah.
I think Zero's sick, man. I think he's a really good card.
Yeah, I think so too. He's got to be in there.
I'm not... For me, I don't think they have to be super versatile. Like, if they're very broken in their archetype, like, I don't think Zero's a broken card, but I think, I don't think they should nerf him or anything, But, I think he's phenomenal in his archetype. So, like you're just ecstatic if you got a 0 and something to play him with. Like
Yeah.
it's like let's go. We're pushing tempo. Oh my god, I get Shuri on 4. It's over. Like
It's true, and he's also good on the turn 6 as well.
Yeah.
If you don't have Ebony Maw, or if Ebony Maw didn't get zeroed out, you play your Taskmaster in 0. It's an extra 3 power somewhere.
Yeah.
It makes a big difference. And if you don't draw your Shuri, you could get him for Typhoid Mary, get him for Red Skull. Lizard even. If you have Lizard, if you play Lizard in those decks, you can 0, and then Lizard is a powerful combo.
Yeah, the first time I got to Infinite, back in the day, I played a Doomwave deck, and it just had a 0 package in it. You had Maximus, Lizard, 0, and I think Titania as well. And it was phenomenal. Like, it felt so good just get priority every single game, and then just slam the Doomwave at the end. So even just the 0 package, I don't think it's as good as it was back in the day, but I mean, Shuri Sauron is better than ever.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, it's Shuri Sauron. Back when the Shuri was very oppressive, that was my first deck that got me to Infinite. Just because I was being a filthy Shuri player at that time, just trying to grind Infinite for the first time, and it was harder to get Infinite back in those days, right? Because you need more cubes. So I was like, I didn't feel that bad about it. But yeah, and I randomly pulled Shuri from the collection tract when you can still get Series 4 cards randomly from the collection tract. So that was like, yeah, I know exactly. So yeah, he was part of my first time getting Infinite as well. So that's kind of funny.
There you go. We both rode the 0.
We both share that.
Yeah.
What a moment.
Yeah.
Did we just become best friends?
He's good though. Like he
really,
feels
he's good.
You don't feel like, oh shit, I got 0. It's like, oh no, let's go 0 Red Skull. Like you do all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, 0 is great. And if you already played Sauron and you draw 0, then you're like, all right, I can just play him on turn 6 after I Taskmaster.
Yeah.
You just play him last.
Yeah, 1/3 is nice.
All right, Howard the Duck.
I'm thinking Martyr tier.
Oops. Okay, Howard the Duck's Martyr tier.
Yeah.
And then I forgot I put Snowguard up here to just to talk about, so I didn't have to go down. And then so Howard the Duck, I think Martyr tier. I mean, we both of us don't have Howard the Duck, so we're kind of speaking like out of turn here. I know there's some Howard the Duck lovers out there, and bless your hearts, all of you. But he's not in any deck competitively at all.
I like the idea. Let's say I outlined the theory craft behind.
He's cool.
I like the idea behind him in a very specifically Spectrum ongoing list, because the more ongoing bodies you can get on the board, the better. And rather than just playing Quinjet or something like this that does absolutely nothing for you, Howard actually does something, and he's ongoing, and he's 1 cost. So I think Howard plus Iron Lad specifically in a Spectrum ongoing list. If I had Howard, I would play that deck, and I don't know if it'd be good because I don't have him. So
it probably wouldn't be. I mean, I would want to have fun with him. I don't think it'll be good. I would love to play him in like Iron Lad, like Jubilee, Lockjaw kind of a list too.
Oh yeah.
Where you can just see, maybe he's not good in Lockjaw, but like that kind of list where you can just see like, what you're going to be pulling and stuff. With Iron Lad, I think it'll be fun just because you can see what Iron Lad's going to pull. Yeah. And with Jubilee too.
Yeah, going for the snipes, the big snipes.
Yeah, and then you can see if you're drawing rocks too when your opponents are playing Darkhawk and stuff, and you're like, and you get sad.
Yeah, maybe you could snap, right? Maybe that's a snap condition on its own.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, but some interesting theory. But he's 6,000 tokens for some reason. He's a big bad, so
Yeah, Howard the Duck, the big bad, is in the Martyr tier.
Yeah,
who's a small bad?
So
Snowguard.
This one's tough.
I think it's A tier.
Okay.
And I think it's probably ahead of Sunspot.
I'm pretty excited. We got Sebastian Shaw coming out, and I showed you my list, but I ended up cutting Maximus for Snowguard, and I'm trying to make a Sebastian Shaw list ahead of time. I'm gonna be on vacay for the next week or so I'll be out of the loop. But I think Snowguard and Surfer is really interesting. The Hawk and the Bear are both 3, and they're also both on reveal if you want to play them with Wolf too. So.
That's why I think she's an A tier right now, because Wolf decks are very popular. She's an on reveal. The 2 cards she gives you are on reveal, and it's location control all in one, which is so important, especially in those kind of lists, and especially like with these She-Not lists that are creeping around. You just turn off Limbo, and like that's it. It's great. Or you get into locations that you can't get in with like the Wolf, So there's a lot of lockdown lists going on. You can unflood the lane. She's good. She's just a great card to put in list right now. And then Loki, it's like goes without saying. She gives you 2 cards, and it's 2 more cards for Loki and
I'm gonna ask
Collector.
you a philosophical question, Kim. All right,
Yeah.
I think it's important for Snowguard, and I'm looking at our tier list. Right, maybe she's S tier. Okay, and just hear me out. So, uh, it's really only in Loki, like reliably, that you see her. And then probably Surfer list as well, but I don't know how real of a deck Surfer is, to be honest. But out of all the Loki cards we talk about, Quinjet, Mariah Hill, for example, I think Snowguard's the best one, right? If you're the Loki player, I think though if you could pick a 1-drop to have, it's always Snowguard, just because the utility she gives you is insane, and it's 2 cards for your Loki, which is absolutely insane. You got to think Agent Coulson is running a lot of these decks, and he's 3 cost. Like it's hard to just add, like just adding 2 cards to your hand, like that's +2 on Collector.
Yep.
That's +2 cards for Loki to discount. Another +2 if you got the Quinjet out to -2. Like the Snowguard is I think the premier 1-drop. Like Quinjet's getting cut in some of these decks. Snowguard is getting cut in 0 of these decks. She is the rock star card in the best deck in the game. Obviously, she's not Loki himself. She's not even Collector in those decks. Like these cards are better than her, but I think she's the premier 1-drop in there, and I think she's maybe underplayed in other decks. Like I think you could tech her into other decks, but nobody's doing it right now.
No, I think so too. I've seen some people tech her in some decks just for the location control. So for that reason, I'll put her top of A tier, and I don't think I could put her reliably in S because she's not in the versatility is not there. It's still mainly 1 deck, I think.
Yeah.
Even though it should be, she's not in other ones. So
that's the best deck in the game. That's the best deck though. So that's my argument for S.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah. That's okay.
We'll go top of A. That'll be a compromise instead of middle of A. Okay, let's see. Where do we have Nebula?
The Nebby. I think Nebby's A.
Yeah, I think so too.
She's got awesome in lockdown. She's still vulnerable to Killmonger. She's very vulnerable because you really do want to play her on 1 every single time. You're not thinking twice about that. So she's a sitting duck. Not all Nebulas are playing armor. Nice combo with Prof X. And if you draw Nebula later, she's not great. So she's not like this, kind of I always want to see this card. Like I see Forge, in the S tier. Like you're always happy if you pull Forge. There's going to be something you could play it with, right? Nebula. Sometimes she's unbelievable. Sometimes she just does nothing. So I think she's great. And as a lockdown enjoyer, I play her all the time. But I understand that she's not the one, the broken card, I think, in the deck. So yeah, great with Professor X, of course.
I agree. Yeah, and I'll put her ahead of Sunspot just because she's more versatile in Sunspot.
Yeah.
But she's in more decks because Prof X, Lockdown, she's in all those ones. And even the high Evo She-Not deck, she's in all those, right? Because she's waiting around, skipping turns. She's great. She forces opponents to play in her lane too, so sometimes opponents have to play suboptimally, or else she gets out of control. It's really, really good card right now.
You think she's S tier, or do you think there's an argument for her being S tier or no?
No, I can't see her because she's only in a couple decks and she's not like amazing. She's really good in those decks, but she's not like the best.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think she's as good as like the Hood or Forge, honestly.
Yeah, those guys are just popping off right now. Yeah.
And another card. All right. So Spider Ham.
Yeah,
he's been coming back. I think he's A tier. The disruption he provides is so good right now. Like you're cucking so many good cards. Like there's a lot of destroy. You're getting rid of deaths. You're Loki. If you hit a Loki, you're going to town. You're excited. If you're hitting anything except for Infinite, basically you're excited. You're hitting She-Hulks in these decks. There's just so many like key cards. There's so many combo centric pieces that you're hitting, like Dracula, Apocalypse in the discards that are popping up. If you're hitting werewolves, you're hitting beasts, you're hitting stuff. Bounced. The disruption is so good. So it's just a really good card. And then Shadow King's really high up in the meta too. So it especially you're playing Shadow King with Spider Ham in the same list usually. So the cards that you Spider Ham, if they play them out, you can make them 0 power too. A lot of the time, Spider Ham's seen a lot of bounce lists. Really good. I'm happy that he's back in the meta. It's It's good to see. And again, he's another one that if Mobius comes back, right? No, never mind.
Yeah, that's okay. If just to piggyback off your Shadow King point, in we live in a world right now where we kind of both agree that Werewolf is just the top 2 card in the game, and this is a generically good 1 cost on reveal card. So I mean, just unbelievable with Werewolf, and of course unbelievable with Bounce as well. So not unbelievable with Bounce anymore. It used to be the best card in the game with Bounce, but now it could very well hit the same card twice. But that's still 2 Werewolf bounces, and maybe he costs 0 when you do it. So it really enables your Werewolf.
Yeah,
he's got to be.
That's it.
Gotta be up there.
Yeah, perfect point. It's great.
All right, checking out.
We're getting close to the end here. Echo. I don't know. I don't have Echo, and you don't have Echo, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think she's going to be meta dependent, right?
Yeah. Like for this meta, pretty good, it seems.
Yeah, I think if it's the day that Miss Marvel comes out, she's an A-tier card.
Yeah.
Like she is the hard counter to Miss Marvel. You play Echo in the middle, and it's a GG. You pretty much win the game off just Echo in the middle. They're not playing Killmonger. Like it's not happening. So
yeah, if they ever do series drops, I'd love to see where this card shakes out when more people get her. Yeah, because maybe she's just like a sick tech card that like we don't know because not many people have her, right? Because she's expensive. But I think she could be she could be low A tier or like B tier. I don't know.
Yeah, I think maybe we'll put her in B for now. Just
I think so.
We don't know, and also not just to be biased, we don't know. Nobody's playing her. It's not like she's in top. You do the top 5 decks, like Echo's in 0 of them, right? So
sometimes, sometimes she's in them.
I don't know. Yeah,
but not really.
Yeah.
No, we'll put her B tier.
Yeah, but she is another really interesting in theory card. Like the only counter in the game to Cosmo, I think, is Echo. You really have no other way of dealing with Cosmo other than her. Maybe you can't even use like Spider-Man 2099. Maybe Iron Fist Spider-Man 2099. Like kill their Cosmo. That's like not reliable at all. So if you don't want your lane to get Cosmoed, like you're trying to set something up, some Invisible Woman or like Hela type of thing, you're setting it up. Echo's the only thing in the game that can do what she does. So yeah, very interesting card, but we just don't see her.
Yeah, it'll be interesting when more people get a hold of her. That'll be kind of cool. X-23. I mean, yeah, go for it.
I think she's S tier.
This
card's broken. I think this card's broken. Like, I don't think they should nerf her, but if they put her to a 1/1, I think she's still in every destroy list.
She's only in one deck.
Yeah, I know, but in that deck, she's insane. And now people are starting to put frickin' Professor X in Destroy. The card that counters Destroy is now in Destroy decks because of X-23 only. You know what I mean? It's like, and that's not the reason why she's an S. I think she's been S since the day she came out. This card is crazy. She's only in one deck, but that deck is, again, it's the same argument I have with Snowguard. That is the most popular deck in Marvel Snap. I don't know if it's the best. It's top 5 for sure, but it's the most popular deck, and it's reliable. It's good against Loki because it's a combo deck, and I mean, she's crazy, man.
Yeah. All right. I'll take her an S because she is so good in Destroy. It's ridiculous. Again, like you could play Null and Deadpool on your final turn if you destroy X-23 like the turn before. Like it's pretty sick. Arnim Zola's early, like just ridiculous things you can do. Yeah, she's an insane card, and she's good. All right, I'll give her S, and maybe we'll think about Snowguard later.
You don't have to do Snow. I mean, Snow got nerfed too, right? So
Snowguard's sick though. I love Snowguard.
You would say previous Snowguard with the 2/3 Hawk is definitely S tier, right?
That was my most played card that month when we had those monthly updates. I just put her in everything.
Top 10 list. I think she was like top 5 on your list or something, right?
So she was so sick.
Yeah, so I mean that was an S tier card for sure. Now this 3/3 is questionable for sure, but I think she's really good. Oh, okay. We got Nico.
We got Nico. Me, I think is easily the best one drop in the game, and I don't think it's even close. If there was a tier above S tier, Nico would be in it. This card is ridiculous. It's a lot of questions before she first came out. Like, oh, is she going to be too unreliable? Blah, blah, blah. Like, you could pretty much put this in any deck, and she's like amazing in any deck. All of her effects are good. None of them are bad. Sometimes, move to the right is like, you're like, oh, you don't want to use that. But sometimes it's brilliant. It's great. Yeah, she's like location control. She's a draw mechanic. She powers up, juices up your cards, like especially if it's like Deadpool. It's wild.
Yeah,
she's like by far the best one drop, by far. Like she'd be a tier above all these, I think.
It's true because you look at Forge Hood, X-23. Even if Snowguard was in there, Nico's a clear cut above those. Yeah, she's unbelievable. I do think they're gonna nerf her draw. I think it probably will go to draw 1. Even then, she's still great.
Yeah, and I don't say this about like many cards, like hardly any, but I think she's worth 6K tokens. Like I think she's worth it.
I agree.
100%. She's so good.
Yeah, I'd say like her and Eliath are the two that I think you just drop.
But she's coming in a couple weeks in a cash, so you don't have to spend your tokens. So she's in the Spotlight cash in a couple weeks, which I think is a good one. We'll go over that soon.
Is it the Havoc one? But it's got one other good card though, right?
Yeah, we'll see the next.
We're going to be looking at that at the end of the spot. So yeah, we'll get to that
in a couple seconds. I know you got to go soon, but
no, it's all right. Yeah, we're great.
Last one, Black Knight.
I think B.
I think B too. Like he's definitely not Martyr tier. Both I think it's a card we both don't have too. Yeah. But I see some Black Knight lists, and some of them intrigue me. Like it makes me like, I kind of want to play the card. They're not great. They don't seem great, but when they pop off, and it's hilarious to see like. Just 20 power cards being slammed down with Infinite, and Ghost Rider and stuff, Taskmaster.
Yeah, I think the deck plays similar to Shuri Red Skull, not the Sauron list, but the old Shuri Red Skull list. It has less protection, but maybe a little more ceiling as well. Like you could have 3 20s, instead of 2 28s, for example.
Yeah.
So it kind of plays like that, and it's kind of interesting deck. I don't know how consistent it is because I don't have the card. I will have it soon though. That's also coming in a cash, and I will be pulling that one for sure.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, I think he's just okay, and I think even you look at the discard decks that he's in, the other ones just seem better right now.
Yeah.
So his deck seems fine, but it doesn't seem like it's like OP or anything.
Yeah. No, I agree. I don't think we missed one. If we did, I'm sorry. This is an old list here, and I'm just kind of scrolling through. I don't want to look through like an idiot and waste time. But yeah,
that feels pretty thorough, though. It feels like we got I can't think of any anyway that aren't. We got them all. I think.
So I'll run through it real quick, starting from the bottom. Martyr tier. We have obviously Martyr. Mm-hmm. Don't waste resources on her, please, people. Just wait. We have Angel, Elektra, Ghost, M'Baku, Quicksilver, Uatu, and Howard the Duck. Then in our B tier, we have Misty Knight, Nightcrawler, Maria Hill, Ant-Man, Hawkeye, Echo, Black Knight, Titania, Agent 13, Iron Fist, Yondu, Squirrel Girl, Nova, Rocket Raccoon, Human Torch. And then in our A tier, we have Snowguard at the top of A tier, Korg, Deadpool, Quinjet, Spider-Ham, Nebula, Sunspot, Bast, Blade, Ebony Maw, Zero, Iceman, Kitty Pryde. And then in S tier, we have Nico, who's the best one drop in the game. Arguably probably one of the top 10 cards in the game. I think she'd be on both of our lists.
For sure.
Yeah.
Top 5.
Top 5 probably, yeah.
Sick, yeah.
Nico, Forge, Hood, and X-23. Mm-hmm. You cool with that?
Yeah, I think it's great. And just, disclaimer, not all the tiers are like ordered. For example, like Martyr tier, I don't think Howard's the worst card in the game. So don't be like, well, you guys said Howard is the worst card in the game. No, okay, we don't think Howard's the worst card in the game, right?
Yeah, Martyr tier is not ordered. The other ones are kind of ordered.
Yeah.
Ish. They're ordered-ish.
Loosely ordered. S tier.
Martyr tiers are just all bad. They're all just so bad that it's like, don't just forget about them.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Looks good. I love tier lists, man. They're a great time.
They're fun to do. Too, because it takes you look at the cards. Yeah. Anyways, all right. Let's talk quickly about Spotlight caches because we weren't going to do it this week. One, the people demand it, so that's number one. So we'll do it. But number two, there were some changes. Some surprise changes. There was a mini patch the other day. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to pull up Drew Barry's infographics because he always has the best infographics.
I watched this video. Yeah, I watched.
Yeah, no, he does such a good job that I'm just gonna use this stuff from now on because I love what he does and they're great and he's always got great takes and stuff. So, shout out to Drewberry. Thank you for making these sweet infographics. We love them. So we have what happened. Firestar got removed. Firestar's out.
Most hype card of the month. The card that we have been saying for months now, hey, save your keys for December. Save your Firestar. Not only Firestar, Tribunal, and Ravona. All you might not have Tribunal. You might not have Ravona. Like you're gonna get 2 cool cards and like Firestar. Like this was the card. The whole meta was gonna be Firestar, and that might have been why she got postponed. Actually.
Yeah, it might have been that because she might have been broken, or she might have actually been broken. Where like she might have broke the game, like what's it called? Kitty Pryde did in the past. Maybe they're still working out some kinks because just to get rid of her completely, it makes me feel like because if they were so broken, then like they thought it was going to be so bad, they could have just like tuned the power down a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. It makes me think that there's something like mechanically wrong with the game engine that she breaks the game, but maybe not.
That was Drewberry's take as well.
Oh, was it? I didn't see. Okay.
Speaking of Drewberry, so he does have a YouTube video on this, like 10 minutes long. I think it's worth a watch. Yeah, like you said, he has good content. So he said he thinks 90% chance that she was bugged and she was going to break the game.
Probably, yeah. That's what I think too.
I have a different theory, all right? Because everyone did an instant react to this, but I had like a night. I thought about this in my car on the way home today, all right? So this is what I think happened.
God.
The December schedule is a little wonky. Okay, we have a patch on the 5th, and then we have no patches till January. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think that in their testing, they realized that if this day this card comes out, it's going to be only Firestar meta for a month straight, and they might just kill their game because it's you either have Firestar or you're raging and quitting the game forever. So I think that, and they don't want to move her so they said, okay, maybe what's a quick fix? Let's nerf her to 2 power. No, now that's an absolute dog shit card now all of a sudden. Just because of her effect, she gave her power to every card that you played the turn before. So if you move her to 2, that's like a -6 power nerf, and she's a horrible card. So it's like, she's already 6 cost, so you can't increase her cost more. So they can't, that's my theory.
Now they're, who knows, maybe, but I don't know if you're aware, they added an OTA at the end of December. I think the 21st.
Oh, okay.
So they're going to do an OTA.
You can't OTA Firestar, so my theory sticks.
Yeah, they could have just nuked her, but then people would have got mad if they made her a 2. Maybe she's okay at a 2, and maybe she's not that bad at a 3.
She's okay at a 2, man. I think she sucks at a 2.
Maybe she's not that OP at a 3 because like the times where you can spam on turn 5 might not be as much as we think, or it might be more than we think, and it might just break the game. Mm-hmm. So who knows?
Yeah,
I don't know. But anyway, so Blob got moved and buffed. So Blob is now a 4 power instead of a 3 power. He had a little too much Thanksgiving dinner. Yeah. So he gained an extra power. He ate Firestar. Because he's now in week 2.
Yeah.
And then, the first week. So, and also I think one of the reasons why they did this is because people are complaining so much about the economy. I bet we're going to have some economy updates, and there's not like a new card in the first week, so people can also take a break as well from like having to get Sebastian Shaw and a new card, so that Man Thing replaced Blob in the week 1, so it's Man Thing, Stegron, and Jeff. That's the week of Sebastian Shaw, and then Blob got moved to the next week as a 6/4 with Ravona and Living Tribunal, and Sebastian Shaw, the season pass card, who's a 3/4 when this card permanently gains power, gain +2 more power wherever this is. So even in your deck with like Koye, he is a 3/4 now instead of a 3/3. So they buffed him. So
yeah, I think that's a pretty big buff, I think.
Yeah. So what does this change for me? For me, this makes my wallet happy for the first week because I won't have to roll for Blob or decide whether or not I'm going to roll for Blob because I'm just not going to roll that week. I'll buy the season pass. I don't know if I'll roll for Blob. I'll wait on Blob after a few days because like I have Ravona and Tribunal. I got Tribunal in a random, like my first spotlight, the first one that came out. So yeah.
Well, I'm gonna be trying them out in Hella like right away, so I'll let you know how it goes.
Yeah, I might end up getting him because I might skip Havoc week as well, which is the next week with Legion and Nico because I have Nico and Legion. And then so I really want Celine, so and Black Knight, which is the last week. So
Yeah,
I'll roll for those.
Especially for people who don't have Iron Lad. I mean, you know, we wish Lady Deathstrike was there because we don't have her, but it's okay.
Yeah, and maybe they got rid of Lady Deathstrike because what was the other one they got rid of too? There was another one that.
Well, I was gonna get a Jeff variant that I'm now not gonna get, so there's that.
Yeah, so I think they maybe got rid of Lady Deathstrike because maybe they're gonna move her down to series. Maybe they'll actually do series drops. I hope. That's my nice. Yeah. That's my cope. Mm-hmm. Is that they got rid of that, and there's another one that used to be that they got rid of. I can't remember now.
I mean, Firestar, but I don't know. Yeah.
No, the other one. But yeah. So, anyways, Blob 6'4". We'll see. He got fatter. It's gonna be great. Mm-hmm. But yeah. So I mean, makes it easier because they're not releasing an extra new card, so it's easier on the economy. So it's not players aren't gonna get as pissed. And Firestar is gone, which looked like the coolest card.
Yeah, and I think for the people, if you have any of these weeks where you don't have two cards in the week, then I think you just roll. I think so maybe it's Blob week, like Blob and Tribunal for me. I don't have, but maybe you don't have Ravonna. I think it's still worth rolling for Blob and Ravonna personally.
Yeah, I think so too.
Celine week is the other one that kind of stands out where Celine and Black Knight, or if you don't have Iron Lad, but maybe have Black Knight, or you don't have all three. That's an awesome week to roll.
And there are 3 Series 5 cards if you look, right? So like that is an awesome week to roll. Because if you are min-maxing, then you want to roll for Series 5s, then you want to spend tokens on Series 4.
For sure.
Right? If you're min-maxing.
What's the card in the middle on Havoc?
Legion.
Yeah, Legion. So if you don't have Legion and Nico, even though Havoc looks like he's a horrible card, I would roll that personally.
Me too.
For Legion and Nico, I think that's pretty sick. And look, if Havoc's total dog water, they're probably going to buff him. They buffed Negasonic. They buffed Snowguard. So there is kind of precedent for, hey, we put out a pay-to-win card and it's pay-to-lose. So, they usually buff these cards. So
yeah, and maybe it's not so bad. Maybe there's things we're not thinking of, and maybe it is going to be okay. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it could be decent with Zoo, like Kyra Zoo. Like, that might be a decent card. So
true. Because, you don't really care. You're just zooing out. You're not going to spend all your mana anyway.
Yeah, slam that thing on turn 3 or something, and the 1-drop. And you just have 3 power the rest of the time. You're chilling.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. All right. I know you got to go. You're on your way to Florida soon. You're going to be a Florida man.
Florida man.
So, Martyr, are you going to pick up Martyr or what?
Can't do it. I can't do it, kid.
Hell no, I'm not picking this card up. I'm not wasting my tokens on this.
No, I can't do it.
But I have 57,000 tokens I'm not even wasting on this.
How rich?
Yeah, how rich? Because I'm so stingy. I've been saving since before they changed the whole before they even spotlight system. I don't even think I've bought one card with tokens.
Oh, I just bought an Nihilist.
Oh, I bought Mobius and Ravonna. Those are the only 2 that I bought. They're with 3K each.
Yeah.
But I was just saving relentlessly before. Yeah, and High Evo, I think, is the only other one I bought with tokens.
It's like you said, man. I mean, there's like Echo, Howard, like there are cards I'm kind of interested in that I don't have, and like she's not one of them.
No, exactly.
Martyr is just is hard pass.
Yeah, I might get her on my random roll one of the weeks, and just be pissed, and rather have 1,000 tokens.
For sure.
Well, yeah. All right, man. Have fun in Florida. Okay. And to the people out there, peace.